Hi guys. So for my final project, I'll be using Visme to present. And the topic that I decided to choose to present on is Microsoft Excel from a marine biology major's perspective. Excel is a really important tool, I feel, especially in the STEM field and the biology field, chemistry as well. So with that being said, let's get right into it. So, what exactly is Microsoft Excel? It's basically just a virtual spreadsheet that you can use to organize data, do financial and data analysis, um, organize numbers, perform basic mathematical functions. And from these numbers, you can also create a variety of different graphs and charts. So, it's really beneficial, especially if you're in the field collecting data or if you're conducting a study to figure out what the effect of something is on something else, and you use numerical values to basically show what exactly this correlation is. So it can be really beneficial when you're collecting numbers to keep all of that organized, especially if you're doing an extensive study. It's a really good tool to keep everything organized and just in place, as well as use that for, like I said, visual representation of your data using graphs and charts. So here I did a little screen grab of one of my previous studies in a course that I took. We did a study on Muscovy ducks and they're basically just their presence on different wetland sites on the USF campus. So here we can see all of my numbers are nicely organized. It's really easy to read. It's easy to tell what everything means. I was also able to average out all of the numbers that I have for my visits, and I was able to use the average function on here. So I didn't have to sit there and basically, do a bunch of math. Like it does it for you. So all of these numbers were completely generated by Microsoft Excel. And as you can see here with this little data chart, you can this was also generated by Microsoft Excel. So it's really nice. It makes my life a lot easier. So I don't have to sit here and do all of this by hand. It just generates it for you. So all you really have to do is collect the data. Same thing here. This was from a previous chem course. We did a thermodynamics lab. And as you can see here, I did all of my number collections, data collection, as well as all my calculations, which again, it pretty much did all the calculations for me for the most part. So then all I had to do was generate those numbers right here, and then it basically just gives me this graph right here. So I don't have to do any of it. It saves a lot of time, especially from a scientist perspective. We already have to dedicate so much time to research and study, anyways. So this essentially cuts our time putting that data out there, like publishing it, pretty much cuts it in half. And so I'm going to switch over actually to Excel. Here is, here we go. Here's another example of one of the studies that I did, or I guess one of the labs I did. So, like you can see here, you go to insert, and then just if you highlight one of your data tables, based on that, you can insert any sort of graph you want, whether it be like a bar graph or like a line graph, and it just generates, whatever one you want. You can insert trend lines, averages. There's all sorts of things you can insert. So it's a really great tool. And then, as I was saying before, there's a ton of mathematical functions from statistical analysis, engineering, all sorts of things that you can use. So it's really great for people in the STEM field. It's a really great tool and it cuts your time in half, essentially, doing mundane and tedious things. So, yeah, I personally haven't really had any issues with it. I think they could make it a little more user friendly, but other than that, I think it's an awesome tool. And if you're in the STEM field, you already know that Microsoft Excel is literally a lifesaver. So, anyways, back to the presentation. Let's see here. So then for my last slide, I just have all my references, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much.